Hi, Haley. I am really glad
Hey,
that you are here
thank you.
because I could not get on via Zoom to host the meeting.
Huh, interesting.
When I was
What?
in the waiting room, it said November 6th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Saw that
same.
too.
When I went on to the Zoom place where I would ordinarily join, it only showed me Tuesday, November 12th meetings.
Hmm. What account is it?
It's the meeting room 4.
For.
Okay, hang on a second. I want to change my name.
Pick a good one.
Oh, I wonder if it has something to do with the buildings committee because they have a meeting at the same time
Yeah,
tonight.
but they usually did not conflict with us in as much as
Hmm.
they went on to some other base.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to look more into that.
Well, I guess we are. Who is not here? Mary Jo, did I not let you in?
I'm here.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Hold up there. Hey, go ahead.
Here we go. Okay, so we have 6 people here. Let's. Oops, I'm on video. So, I guess Jessica, we can start.
Are we ready? All set?
Yep.
All right, we're going to call the Council on Aging meeting to order on November 12th at 5:36 p.m. Starting with a roll call with Mary Jo.
Johnson here.
Makepeace here. Susan.
Susan's here.
My next.
yep.
Stopped in here. Thank you.
Strangman here.
So tonight we have Haley Bolton, who is our new town administrator, came to join us as our guest speaker. I'm not sure what she's speaking about, so we're just going to pass the floor over to her.
Okay. I didn't really prepare any remarks, but I'm happy to answer questions and just say thank you for having me. And I'm sorry that it took me so long to join one of your meetings. Um, I formerly in my past lives, I was the senior center director for town of Amherst and council on aging director for the town of Bernardston. So this is definitely something that's near and dear to my heart. And I want to, Susan, thank you for the report. It was really interesting to look back and see all the things that you're doing. And I actually just really want to learn more from all of you about what you think seniors in town need.
Well, you and I were talking about 2 things, I think, about
Mhm.
digital equity and also
Yep.
about, sorry, I'm not, and about fundraising.
Yes.
So what would you like to go with, if that's useful?
We could start with digital equity. I think that it's the perfect realm for the COA. There are a lot of older folks who don't have access to technology or just don't want access to technology. And so how do you navigate those needs, particularly in a small rural community, right, where it's really hard to make sure that people are getting information that they need or support that they need? I always remember people saying, I don't need such and such service because someone else is more needy than me, right? Or, that I can take care of myself and I don't need that. So that's a huge challenge. And I think, again, that's why it ties so nicely into what COAs do for the community.
And I
We
think
could start.
Jessica's going to be talking about at some point about the classes that she's been scheduling. That's
Awesome. I think that's a great place to start. You got the grant, which is awesome. There are also a lot of like, free speakers you can have and come, and maybe you tie it into like a luncheon or you do a standalone program. But there's a lot of information out there for people.
One question with,
Mhm.
you just mentioned a grant. Is that the actual, like, the digital equity grant that's available if organizations want it, or is that something else?
That's I believe that's your $700 grant that was in partnership with the broadband committee. So yeah, that's where I would think you would start.
So, Susan, do you, or maybe Jessica, are we getting like a slice of that grant, like the town went?
We actually aren't getting any of it. We're just setting it up for Gail Huntress with the
Okay.
broadband. Everything is going through her. We're just supplying the woman for the workshop that the Barbara Friedman that's before the senior lounge, and try to get advertisement out there that these classes are happening. Gail also said that it can be open to people not in Shrewsbury. So if somebody from the surrounding towns want to come, if we have space, they're more than welcome to come. So Leverett, Wendell, Shrewsbury, anybody can join. I'm sure that Shrewsbury is not going to fill a room, you know.
Okay, so you're just kind of helping her flesh out the details, like hosting the space and promoting it.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's starting, well, this is going to be after, but the first one's going to be December 12th. And she's going to start with
Nice.
holiday scams and spams.
Perfect.
And then in January, in February, she's going to do something with pictures, how to import, export pictures, and in the
Cool.
gallery and such. And then the other thing was phone calls, how to merge phone calls, add contacts. I don't even remember what else he said. So it's going to take just a chunk, and then that's all that session is going to be on.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's great.
using cell phones a little bit, is that?
Cell phones and tablets. Yep.
And what were the dates on those? 12/12, 1?
We've only set up the first one as 12/12.
Okay.
Me and Susan were talking. We don't know that Fridays are going to work well because a lot of our things happen on Wednesdays. And we know that there's a group in town that's available on Wednesdays. We don't know what Fridays actually look like, but she wasn't available in December on Wednesday.
That makes it a little tricky.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense, like for me when I was in Bernardson, you didn't do things on Friday. That's when everybody went to the doctors. Do you know, is there like a day like that where like most people tend to do X on this day of the week?
I don't know.
Okay.
To be honest.
And
But we have Tuesdays, which is the community lunch, and Wednesdays, which is the foot care. So, and she said that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays were her best days. So we had to work around her schedule too.
Oh, that totally makes sense. That's great. Holiday scams are a big one. I always like to talk about romance scams around Valentine's Day because it's like a cheeky tie-in. But yeah, those are really great. And a lot of people, the phone is where you start because that's what people are using the most. So that's really exciting.
Barbara gave us a short workshop on cell phones, using your smartphone smarter, and those were very well received. Do you remember, folks? But they were to a small audience of maybe 6. She did a couple of sessions. Well, she did one for Apple and one for the other kind that I'm blanking on right now, but I would say that
Android.
we would start with those, if those people who are interested and go from there. And obviously, we're going to have to advertise it.
Yeah, I'd like to advertise it on Nextdoor so we can get the word out
Is this
for sure.
Zoom or is this in person?
In person.
Okay.
Do you want to hybridize it? Because the setup we have downstairs is really straightforward. And if your presenter has like a laptop with them, we can hook it up and they can share their screen. So that way you can also record it. That might be nice for the town YouTube. You could have it up there for all to see. Link it on your website page.
But I can ask Barbara that if she would be comfortable with that.
Yeah, and I mean I'm just kind of spitballing.
Right.
But if you want, I'm happy to show. I did a couple lessons on the hybrid setup today, so I'm refining my teaching technique. So more practice would be good.
Haley, I'm wondering maybe at the next, are you in on Tuesdays? I know you came to that one lunch. Would you be maybe available to show that after lunch one day?
Oh
using,
yeah,
that
yeah,
might
we could definitely do that.
catch all the people that need to be there to,
Mhm.
or people that that might work.
Yeah.
So do we have time to just do a quick teaser on fundraising?
Yeah, so fundraising is one of my most favorite topics. It's really fun, and but I definitely don't want to, if something is too much or like not the right fit, just feel free to tell me that. I'm really good at coming up with ideas. I just need people to do the idea. That's always the challenge, right? So I would say, when you think about fundraising, obviously you want to think about who are the key players in town, right? Like who's your competition? You have a really strong base who support the library. Sometimes when I've worked with people on fundraisers, people think, well, if I try to fundraise, then I'm taking something away from someone else, and I don't want to do that to my neighbor, to my friend. But I always just try to paint it as, it's not necessarily your job to tell someone how to spend their money or how to donate. It's just your job to tell them there's a need, that there's some unmet need in the community and you want to help fill it. And, they can contribute or not to whatever degree they're comfortable with. So that's always my blanket speech to start. But then when you get right down to it, you have a lot of really good options. A really common one is working with the local cultural council. So every year there are cultural council grants, and you find a performer that you really like or, is well reviewed, you can reach out to them. A lot of these folks will have like pre-written letters. They do it a lot. You'll probably see emails from the same people every year, like, hey, I want to perform at your senior center. And so you can apply for a grant with them. And what that grant would allow you to do is pay for the cost of the performance. So some other senior centers will then take that, that free performance, and they might do like an outdoor on the common concert. And instead of charging like admission, you just do donation based. Hey, we suggest that you donate X. And then people get free entertainment and you get a profit. And because you got a grant, it's all profit. You like fundraisers that are all profit. So that's an idea. That's a pretty straightforward one, but it's time sensitive. And we did miss the window because that ends in October. But it's something you could put on your, on your list for the future. There are other options, like I talked to Susan about this. Calendar raffles are really fun. They take a little bit of work and there's some like printing associated costs, but you can do something like that really simply. And the real investment is just the time it takes to sell tickets. Now, I don't know if everyone knows what a calendar raffle is, but
No.
so basically, let's say we want to do a calendar raffle for the month of June. Okay, there's 30 days in June. So we need to solicit 30 prizes. Or, maybe we could buy a couple prizes if we didn't get enough donations. There are ways you can work. Get your prizes, you print up your tickets, and that's really, assuming you get all donations, the ticket cost is really your only expenditure for that fundraiser. And then you sell tickets, right? So if you're doing it for June, you probably want to start in like April selling tickets. Maybe you could partner with the athletic club. Maybe, you could have a table at the library. You could think about some places where you might sell them. And then people just buy a ticket, right? So I pay $5, I get a ticket, I get 30 chances to win a prize every day of the month. And it's really fun. So making those phone calls is like the most fun you will ever have. And then what that does is it gives you an opportunity to connect with a person. You call them up and you say, hey, you just won $25 gift certificate to the movies. And hey, did you know we're also doing this program at the senior center, or we have our lunch coming up and on Tuesday, and we want to congratulate all the winners with a special luncheon. And you're invited, right? So you can tie it into things that you have going on. And yeah, and it's really just that simple. In my experience, people really like to know who won. So in your Gazette, you could post, you could write up like, hey, this person won this prize, and then everybody gets to see. And then when people see, hey, I would have liked to have won that prize. Well, I need to pay attention now to when they're going to do it again, because I definitely want to make sure I buy a ticket. And maybe I want to buy a ticket for my daughter or my friend, because we're doing it for the holidays this year, and it's a great stocking stuffer. $5 for a ticket. That's not a lot. That's not a big ask. So those are some, like right off the top of, my head, I have worked on, seen work really well. And there are other opportunities like in Amherst, we used to do like, not a tag sale, but we would take donations of jewelry, watches, belts, ties, accessories, really. And then we would set up a tent at the farmer's market. So you don't have a farmer's market here, but there's likely something, if it's on the common, if it's a nice spring day, or if you promote it and it's downstairs in the town hall basement, and you sell it. And what was really interesting in Amherst when we did that is that we did it as a pay what you can. People are very generous when you say that. I sold a bracelet for $50 that was not worth $50, but because it was for a good cause, this person donated. And I can tell you that there is a pretty big community of people who love tag sales in Western Mass. It's
Yeah.
huge. So if you can find out where those people get their information and you can post that, the setup cost is minimal. All you would be doing is, you want to look at the stuff. People donate like junk sometimes, you clean it up a little, but then that's just manpower hours. You're not really spending a lot of money to then take something in. So there's a lot of ways you can be really creative, and that are scalable for a small town. In addition, it wasn't just Amherst, right? Like I worked in Bernardston, where it was a much more similar community to this one in terms of, population and, annual income. So, yeah, I think that's a lot of me talking.
Those sound really fun. Thank you for sharing those, Haley.
Mhm. Yeah, so I don't know if you have other questions, but, I'm happy to talk at a lunch or set up a different meeting, if there's anything that I can be helpful with, if it's applying to MCOA grants. I've written a couple different service incentive grant applications, and, if you want to fund your memory cafe, that's a great place to do it. You can write a really simple budget and you could use those funds to do, purchase food, purchase new coffee pot, new tea set, new whatever you might want. Offset your printing costs. When you apply to different grants, I always include something that says supplies. Supplies can be anything. It can be the paper you print your newsletter on, and your newsletter is advertisement. So of course that gets covered under the grant. So there are definitely it's targeted. There's not like a lot of agencies that fund senior center activities, but MCOA is really great, and they have a whole range of things you can do. And maybe you've done them already. I haven't been around long enough to know that. So some of this might be redundant for you guys.
I think we're definitely going to be interested in an MCOA grant, Haley, and we'll talk
Okay.
with you when we get to that point in the spring, okay?
Oh, nice. Okay.
Expect us to be back on that. Yeah, definitely.
Great. And then I was trying to think of, I got to pull up my file because I had come up with a couple different resources that you can tell me if you already know about them, but some of them may be new-ish. So you were looking for scam prevention stuff. So you have someone you're working with, and I wouldn't want to step on her toes, but you can also contact the district attorney's office and they'll come out for free. Greenfield Savings Bank. I know Linda Ackerman in their community engagement office. I'm sure she would be really happy to come, and she'll bring food.
Is she still
And-
there?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
okay.
She's worked there since I was like a teenager.
And no,
Crazy.
she has a position that's all about outreach. So she does,
Oh,
Yeah.
she's
good.
dying to get into places, and she gives you lots of pens too.
Yes, she does. And like little squishies. I
Yep.
met her for the first time a couple years ago. She was great. I don't know. Do you guys know RSCP, which is an offset of community action? You heard that? So they basically, it's retired service volunteer something is the acronym. But they run a program called Healthy Bones and Balance. And so they will send instructors to on site at no cost. So you don't have to pay for a class. That's a free offering that they do. You'd have to talk with them about if they have the capacity to open up another site, but that's an option. And they're really great. All the people who teach it are volunteers. They're always super nice. It's good for various mobility levels, so particularly for folks with low mobility. That's something that's better for them. And then I know you had reached out to Rich at the United Way. He said he was interested in, maybe creating more host sites and doing like regular office hours at different locations. So you might want to check in with him on that. And then one other resource that I really like is the tech school, the Franklin County Tech School, because they have two things that are awesome. They have the restaurant and they have a salon. And, you'd have to figure out transportation, but that's workable. It's not a barrier. And, you could get together a trip, or, you could get a trip together, or maybe some folks just meet up at the salon. You can get services booked. People get to connect with the students. We had great success with that in Bernardston. The students would actually come to the senior center and they would do nails. And then because they got along so well with the seniors, they started doing the exercise class that was immediately after the nail appointment with the seniors. And that was a blast. So you can do something like that. You can bring folks to the restaurant for the afternoon. You could have a luncheon club. You go there, maybe you go to a couple other different restaurants, but they're a really great resource. And they also have like a computer program. So they may even be able to, I know in some places they send their students to work with senior centers and help address, tech gaps. So I can't say enough good things about the tech school. They really are wonderful.
Yeah, I think they're a really good idea. And I know some of the people at Foot Clinic have said, gee, we really would need to have our nails done. So I'm
Right, you gotta get the full
maybe
experience.
to look into whether they would come and be there with Foot Clinic.
Yeah. And you might be able to work with the FRTA. They're always trying to push their microtransit demand response network. So you might be able to say, hey, can we plan it so that we pick up a bus full of people at this time, go there and come back? There might be a way to structure it so that you can do that. And yeah, there's a lot of options.
When
And
when I was growing up, they had a senior Surrey in town, and they would
oh,
come up
okay.
and they would pick up all the senior little old ladies
Mhm.
and take them down to Amherst. They would either go to the mall or drop them off at the hairdresser or the grocery store. They'd all have lunch
Mhm.
together. It was every Thursday. And I'll tell you, those little old ladies, they loved it.
Mhm.
They loved it. But it's a different time now where people are much more busier as an elderly person. You know, a lot of people
That's
still
true.
work, you know,
Yeah.
much longer. And I don't know how many would need the rides to go
Mhm.
and do those things once a week, you know, where it's scheduled like that.
Yeah. That's a really valid concern. So you might think maybe once a month, or you know, speaking of people being busy, grandparent duties, you know, that can be huge for some people. So are there COA programs that you could, like one time we did a program where we brought in the people from Magic Wings, and it wasn't inexpensive, but we offered it as a grandparent grandchild program, and it was really fun to see. You know, intergenerational can be really good. But one thing, Jessica, to your point, is I think when you think about building programs, this is just my advice, like what is going to be that thing that I look forward to every week? And sometimes it's
Mm.
harder with educational programs. Like there is actually a trend across Massachusetts where folks have had less attendance at those types of programs post-pandemic. Um, so you want to try to think about what is some, you know, like trips to the nail salon. There are women who will go every week. You do not mess that up. That is my thing. You know, or the luncheons. There are people who go I'm sure every month to your luncheon who are like, I can't miss this. And so what's another like can't miss event? Because in reality, you don't have to stretch yourselves thin. I always think it's better to just do a couple programs really well and have really good impact than try to do everything, because you can't
Right.
possibly do everything.
What were some of the biggest hits for programs that you've done? Like the
Uh,
ones where like you had like the most people that, you know, were interacting with it.
Anything with food, you have to lure them with food. And music. Music is huge, and there are so many great performers in the Valley. You know, you actually in town, you have a yoga instructor and her partner performs at local venues throughout Western Mass. So you already have talent in the community you could leverage. But those are big. You know, we had a memory cafe too. You know, we would get donated snacks and we pay for entertainment. Those are really fun and they're captivating. Um, see what else is popular. Definitely exercise programs are very popular for like younger seniors. But when you want to get the older folks, there has to be like a food component. Because when you think about, well, you guys already know this, but like, how am I gonna, go home and do dishes and cook? And that's like a tremendous chore. So how can I alleviate that? Um, we did have success doing an evening program once a month in Bernardston where we would bring in a speaker. Like one time we had somebody come in and talk about like CBD. That drew a whole lot of people. And then we would feed them after. You never feed them before. You always feed
No.
them after. So they stay. But yeah, I think things that are really engaging, people really just want to talk. And so if you have like, maybe if you did like can be kind of hard to manage people, but maybe something like a current event club, right? Where you pick a topic and, we're going to come and maybe have some kind of like facilitated discussion. Um, and I would say just think outside the box. Like I couldn't believe how many people came to hear about CBD. It was crazy. We had like 30 people, and that's in a small town of like, they had, I think, just over 2,000 people in Bernardston, like 800 seniors, but um, or a lot of folks here in the Valley are really, they're definitely climate minded. So if you had somebody who could just talk about, maybe just changing weather patterns, it doesn't have to be like, representing any particular point, but that is something of interest. Or there's a gentleman at Greenfield Community College, who will come and talk about geology, the fossil record here in Western Mass. Those are really interesting. And you might also look, any retired professors in the community who might want to come in and talk about something. I'm sure you have them. I don't know where they are, but they might want to come in and share their expertise. Maybe instead of a current event club, you just had people come in and talk about their prior lives, right? What did they do before they retired? And you could have, maybe you do that through like a journal, maybe you do that through like a painting or drawing, but something like that would be engaging to folks. And all you really have to do is find a couple people who will talk about how good you are to other people, and then you'll bring them in.
Word of
Yeah.
mouth.
That really is, nothing else works as good.
Gee, thank you, Haley, for all these
No
ideas.
problem. Told you I'm good at ideas. It's the following through and like organizing that can be a little more challenging. But no, thank you for the opportunity. And like I said, I definitely, I know I've said this to you, Susan, a whole bunch, but I don't want to step on your toes, but I am definitely very willing and able to help if I can be of help in some way. So I want to make sure that I offer that.
Thank you.
All
Much
right.
appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. No problem. Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Thanks a lot, Haley. See you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Wait, hold on a second. Oh,
Susan, you hit record, right?
No, I didn't.
Well, it says it's
I think
recorded.
it's supposed to be automatically recorded.
Is
It
it?
told
Okay.
me it was recording.
Recording
Okay.
now.
All right. Only because you asked me the last meeting to remind you.
Mhm.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Rich.
I think
All right.
the calendar raffle sounds so fun, and maybe we could do it around the town meeting so we can hold raffles there.
Right.
A lot of schools do those, and they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I never heard of it all in one month like that. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe we could start with a week this year.
LWA does a monthly raffle every summer.
What does?
LWA?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lake Wyola Association in August every year.
Oh, wow. I didn't
Yeah,
know
maybe
that.
we could tap whoever does that to like help set it up. I'm not sure who does it, but
Didn't even know they did that.
yeah.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yep.
All right, so we have the financial report. Our beginning financials were $885 left in our grant. The donation account had 845, and the town budget, of course, had the 200. Our expenses were $240 for the foot clinic in October. She saw a massive amount of people. I had it written down over here. She saw 12 clients in October. And they donated $195 towards their care. So that was pretty good. We also had the Decade's birthday donation, which was $97.28. We had told them 100, but they only used $97.28. So the donations were $195 for the fees of the foot clinic. Fees, Susan.
Thank you.
And the grant we did receive on November 1st, which is $4,568. So our ending balances as of today are in the grant, we have $5,115.72. In our revolving donation account, $1,040, and our town budget, the 200, a total of $6,355.72. So that was good. And that the grant did not change from last year. We didn't know with the major cuts happening everywhere if it was going to be lower, but it was about the same.
Yeah, there was talk earlier about it being higher, so I guess that got pulled back.
Well, at least it didn't get any lower.
Yep. Yep.
So, so we have to approve the minutes for October and the annual report that Susan did such a good job on.
Thank you.
A lot
But
of patience with that, I'm sure.
Suggestions for change or correction, annual report or the minutes. Do you want to do the minutes first and get those out of the way?
Yeah, we can do the minutes first. I didn't find any corrections in the minutes. I don't know if anybody
Nobody,
saw anything we needed to add. Huh? I didn't hear you, Susan.
I didn't get any written.
They look good to me.
Mhm.
So is there a move to approve, which I shouldn't make as the secretary who did it?
I move we approve them.
I second it. All in favor? Go ahead, Mary
Aye.
Jo.
Johnson, I.
Make peace, aye.
Nolinger, aye.
Stockton, I.
Strangman, aye.
And then the annual report. I know I had given you some edits. Other than that, it looked good to me. Did anybody else have anything else that? No?
Saying that you helped me with the finances.
Well, that's where I'm good at. So let's put in a motion to accept the fiscal year 25 annual report.
Second,
Mary Jo,
Oh, Johnson, I.
make peace, aye.
Nolinger, aye.
Stockton, I.
Strangman, aye.
All right, so the next is updates on programs and meetings. We can just do a really quick one. We do know that the foot clinic was very well received last month,
Mhm.
with a good amount of donations. How was luncheon on Tuesday? Did anybody go?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, that Jeanette lady, man, she was all over the place. That was very nice.
Did
Yeah.
anybody notice the room? Did they come in
Absolutely.
and say, wow, it looks
Yes.
great?
We
Good,
did when we first walked in,
good,
so.
good, I'm glad.
So I'll just report quickly on the NDS grant, the dementia grant. We just had our first memory cafe, just 2 days ago. It was at the Wendell COA. I think so, kind of ran it for the most part.
Mhm.
But it was really, really, really nice. We had about 5 people, 4 or 5 people there with caregivers, and then just a few people from the group. And we had started. I was playing the accordion very quietly, and then people were chatting with each other, and then we wanted to. Lunch was provided, so we went out for a walk outside on their town common and walked around a little bit, and people were just had huge smiles on their faces. And then when we went back in, we had a nice lunch and dessert, and it was over. But it was, it was kind of a goal that we wanted to finally get like real not just educational programs necessarily, but actually like kind of in the trenches a little bit. And it was great.
How often are you doing those?
We have 3 planned.
Yeah.
And
All in Wendell?
right now it looks like they'll all be in Wendell, but we have hopes that when they continue, we're gonna move them around for sure.
yeah, I think, Shutesbury hasn't gotten anything so far because everybody's waiting for a nice meeting room when the library opens.
Mhm. But there's no reason why we couldn't do something, somewhere. Anyway, that's good.
True, it's true.
Yeah.
Yep, we could do something at the senior lounge.
Right. Yeah, there would be enough room in the senior lounge if it didn't get much bigger. So, but the Wendell Senior Center is really nice and kind of cozy and homey, and then we were able to walk out and do that. And they're willing to right now. The COA there is willing to kind of put the legwork and a little bit of money into it. So we'll wait for our turn.
Mhm.
Our time will come.
How do you advertise that?
We we do it through our I think Martha puts it on our
We had
I
flyers,
Susan what?
we had flyers and I put it in, town allowance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Leverett Connects puts it on, and I put it in the Village Neighbors.
Good.
You know, I
So
usually
it
do.
gets out, the word gets out there.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, we do know a few people who are interested already because we're working with them,
Right.
and you know, they came. So, you know, it'll grow if it's meant to.
I contacted
Right.
a couple of Shrewsbury people who said they would come another time. They were planning to, but they couldn't this week.
Good. Okay. It looks like I'm up next. The update on the fall issue of the Gazette.
Actually, can we hit Mary Jo? She has,
Sorry, I didn't know there was something else. So
so
sorry.
she has, updates on the committee she's on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so, the police chief, hiring committee has started interviews. We've interviewed 2 candidates so far. We're really pleased, with the quality of people that are applying. So it's looking good. The basic, procedure from here on is that we will, choose from our candidates a few, 2 or more, to send on to the select board. And then we may recommend some questions for them to ask, but they are doing the final interviews. So the process is coming along relatively quickly. And in terms of the library building, we did a survey of all of the boards and committees and employees of the town,
Mhm.
and got a really strong impression based on that, and also reviewing there was a committee that met to review record storage. And we looked at their report, and it's pretty clear that there are some space needs and underutilized and not utilized well space in town hall. We came to that conclusion for sure. And so then the next question before us is, well, you know, what happens with the library? Having 1 or 2 groups or people move over there is not going to necessarily address what we saw. And so we're kind of looking a little bit broader to think about how we can meet the unmet needs for space and storage that have been brought up. And also going to take a look a little bit closer at what's going on with the old library building and the basic things that it needs to be more energy efficient, and usable space. So that's basically where we're at with both of those committees.
All right, Mary Lou has a question. She has her hand up. I didn't even know Mary Lou was here.
Hi, Mary Lou Conca. I have a question for Mary Jo. Can we at this point know who the candidates are for the, who are coming forward for the police chief position? Are they in-house or are they out-house, Are they like,
Yeah.
who are they?
That information we've kind of kept confidential. I think that I'm not sure how the select board is going to handle it. But we're not releasing names or information. We feel like that's people's private, like the applicant's private information that we're not feeling willing to share.
Okay, okay. I just, in closing, if I may, want to say that I find that quite curious. This will be somebody who's going to be protecting our town and like, so the townspeople can't know who they are. And I will present that to the select board as well. I mean, I would like to know who's up there
I think that's definitely a question for the select board. I don't think that
Right.
there's confidentiality with that, and that would definitely be a select board thing because they know the legalities of that.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, I just wanted to mention something before I forget that's related to both the police, not really that, but when we were at the ABCs of dementia in it was the sort of the training in the Leverett Library. Um, Devin Pelletier, I was so impressed by how much he had to offer, and his expertise was just truly amazing. I was like, I felt so proud. Um, just know that he was the only our people, our workers were the only one. We had Lenny, Zawanka, and also
Right.
Devin, and they also just, they were just so engaged and knew so much.
That
Just
was
wanted.
great. I agree.
Mhm.
One day at school, my son was playing basketball and they had 3 kids and it was 2 against 1, and he took his time and went and played with them so they weren't off balance, and all
Mhm.
the kids just loved it. They
Yeah.
loved it. He's great. He's great. Thank you, Mary Jo. Thank you for representing us too. I know that seems like it can be a lot of work, but we do appreciate being represented.
We do.
All right, now the newsletter, Jeanette. Sorry, we had our own we had our own category for that. That's why I stopped you.
Okay, really quickly, it's pretty much done unless anyone had a chance to look at it and notice if any P's and Q's were in the wrong place or anything else. We were just kind of waiting to find out what kind of it's called an indicia, where it looks like we can use the much lower postage on it. So that's the only thing that's really up in the air. And getting the list. And I don't know how that is going to happen. So as soon as we can let Ken up at Adams know it's ready, he knows it's coming. Um, we're ready to go to production. So kind of excited.
Okay, so here's where we're at with the mailing list. I have a PDF copy,
Oh,
and we can't use a PDF copy. I don't believe I would think they would need a Excel copy, correct?
uh, what would be wrong with a PDF? I'm just not sure. I mean,
They wouldn't be able to import it into.
well, let me ask them that tomorrow because I would think that they do that, but I'm not sure.
I would think they needed Excel to import.
Not printed, is it? It
Well,
would
I do have hard copies because
Right, but we don't-
it's
yeah.
32 pages long. It's very long, and there's a lot of doubled households.
Right.
And
Oh,
I
okay.
think we can probably cut that. I mean, I'm looking at it. I mean, I glanced through it. So my question, and I'm asking Rich this because did you say your son is a computer smart techie?
Yeah, kind of. What
Is
would you
there any way that you could ask him if he could take that PDF file and convert it into an Excel, a spreadsheet?
Sure.
And then I'll
I
also,
don't even know if it's possible, but I know you can take Excel and make it into a PDF. Maybe we can reverse it
Versus,
if
okay.
he's got the, because then all we have to do is sort it by address, and then we can pick apart the double addresses.
So
You
I'll
know,
just tell them that we have a PDF file that we'd like to put in a mailing list for our
make
newsletter.
it into an
and
Excel
Make it
spreadsheet.
into an Excel spreadsheet. And
Mhm.
if he has any ideas extra, that'd
I
be
mean, it
fine.
may not even work. It was just a thought in my
Right. No,
brain.
no, no, that's good. I can do that. He'll be here tomorrow.
Because, go
in the
ahead, Jeanette.
meantime, maybe I'll get in touch with Ken and see if he potentially might be able to do it. I don't know.
Right.
Right, but the only
Yeah.
problem is we still have to remove the double addresses.
Doubles. Yeah.
I would think it would
That's,
be more expensive for Ken if he were given, a PDF rather than a spreadsheet.
I don't know how he would, well, he might be able to convert it into an Excel,
Easily.
Because to put it into his programming, I'm sure it's got to be in Excel.
Okay, I'm not sure of that, so I'm gonna ask, see if he can convert it. Otherwise, so we're not ready to go at all. I mean, we've got the newsletter ready, but if someone has to go through and delete things and also get it to Excel if he can't do it,
Right.
we're not necessarily.
Right. So I had asked Brennan about getting an Excel, and the woman, the clerk, is in tomorrow, I think, 'cause she's in on Thursdays. I'm not sure. To see if we can get it in Excel. And I will double check with him tomorrow too, to see if he has heard anything. But she had to go and ask somebody, I don't remember who he said. It was some state person to get it in Excel, so I don't know.
Wow.
So Jeanette, could you explain what the process is? I'm not familiar with the word, what, the NVIDIA?
With what?
The word that you have a phrase that you say, if we can do this, it'll be a cheaper posting.
Oh, if for example, I think the magic number is it's oh God, I don't know if it's a mail merge. What happens is if it's over a certain amount of mail going out, we can send it. Let's pretend it's like not for profit. So it
Right.
would be maybe 19 cents to send our mailer rather than the normal
Right.
postage cost. So rather than putting a stamp on it, Ken puts his special stamp on it, and then we just have to pay him 19 cents times 237, for example, rather than buying 237.80. Actually, it might even be a little more because it ended up 6 pages. We have one 8.5 by 11 in the
Yes.
center. So that's what it is.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, that we've always dealt with that issue of, do we have enough copies, and do we have enough mailing addresses, and do we have to send multiple copies to some people in order to reach the magic number?
Well, I think it's way less than what would probably be evidenced on 32 pages of paper. That
Yeah,
sounds like an
that's
awful
true.
lot.
Yeah.
Right, so they have 680 residents on the list.
So are we planning to send to all 681, even if they're like, I think it's a nice idea. I mean, it's still going to be 630 residents will probably be cheaper than using stamps on, like 200.
Oh, sure. So it might be worth it not to worry about reducing, taking out everybody but the head of the house, or everybody but one adult at a location.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
She's saying it doesn't seem like we could probably afford not to bother going through and taking out, let's call them duplicates. Because who's going to do that?
Well, it could be less than 500. I mean, that could be a lot more. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Actually, let's make it about 20 cents for the postage. 100, that wouldn't be that much, would it? That would be like $20, or is my math that bad? You think there'll be 100, huh? But how are
And
we?
I said it would be well, there's 680. I'm thinking a good chunk of those are married.
Yep.
Okay.
So I mean, even if it was like 400 or 500,
Yeah.
that's a lot less than.
Right.
I mean, because it's just going to go in the trash, and we're just throwing money away at that point.
Is there a
In my
minimum?
eyes, that's throwing away, because they're going to look at one, and the other one's going to go in the trash. That's in my eyes.
Okay, there's
I don't know how anybody
another
else feels about it.
though, is the Shutesbury Town Democrat sends out something, a mailing, and they send one person in the household who are on the Democrats list. And I encountered somebody who was unhappy that she didn't get her own copy of whatever of the mailing. that only her husband did, and he didn't show it to her.
Is there a minimum amount of mailings that we need to use to do this?
I cannot tell you the number. I feel like
Okay.
it's maybe 200.
Oh, all right, okay.
Thinking it
But please don't, you
I
know,
didn't know if the minimum was, okay.
I will ask that question tomorrow when I also ask the,
Okay.
because if we're all gonna ask about the PDF to Excel question, you're
Right.
gonna ask your son,
Yeah.
we're gonna ask the
Mhm.
clerk, we're gonna ask Ken. We'll
Mhm.
probably get an answer from somebody. I'll also ask about that. I can't remember. I should know what it is because I've done it enough times. All right, so we're definitely in a tiny bit of a holding pattern, but at the same time, it's done. It's ready.
Exactly.
And there's nothing that timely in it. I think the only thing is the next memory cafe, which is so minimal. So yeah, all right, number 9.
Well, we do have dates for the digital equity classes, but I don't. we want-
Be 12/12.
12/12.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
that,
at the memory cafe. So I think you know, hopefully we'll get it out in a week.
well, if we can get it in Excel, it's very easy to sort by address and then
Mhm.
delete the extra one and make it Smith household. It
Mhm.
wouldn't take too much to do that. We need to get it on Excel first. That's the only problem.
Okay.
Thanks, Mary Lou.
So at least give us a few more days to see where we are with the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And you can definitely ask them if they can take it with PDF, but in my mind, I don't think that's possible.
Okay.
Because then
you're probably
unless
right.
they have something that can convert it over and, so. So the next was the digital workshop, which we kind of went over when Haley was here. Barbara's gonna come up and do the digital workshop on December 12th from 12:30 to 2:30, a 2-hour workshop on holiday scams and spams. It's I hope that it's very well received because it's something that's actually a really good for our community
Mhm.
because there are so many out there. But we have to think about how we're gonna advertise that besides just the town announce. I know the luncheon, it should probably be mentioned at the luncheon. Maybe at the foot clinic, we can drop or maybe we can make a little sign, digital workshop coming up.
And
Write like a flyer or something, which would be easy to make up. Next door, I don't know how else to maybe even let Mary Ann know. Maybe she has people that might, she might know that would be interested. And like Gail said, that it can be, other people from other towns can come if we have room. So.
okay,
the more the-
see if Martha Favre has a list of the people that participated in Barbara's last workshops.
Okay,
Mhm.
Sending to them if possible.
yeah, that'll be good. That's a good start.
And I think we need to think about reaching out to people who do not have broadband. And I believe there is a list that we got from Gail, and we're
Oh,
doing a mailing that wouldn't be that expensive because there wouldn't be that many people. It's like maybe 50, I think. Jeanette, remember that list? Didn't you see that?
I remember it, but we also had the question of they might not have broadband, but they might still have Verizon. That was another question. I remember that list though.
Yeah, if they have email or if they're interested in email, this is something that they could come to and learn from, maybe.
Yeah.
Of course, if they're not interested.
Well, most people have cell phones if they don't have internet anyway. It doesn't mean, doesn't mean that they don't have a cell phone. if they don't have internet. So
you're right.
I think almost everybody has a cell phone nowadays, even if it's just for emergencies.
Well, besides word of mouth, the flyers work well. Everybody that goes to the post office, but it has to be out there when you first walk in.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a good place to
and
put
The
something.
library has the thing when you first walk through the door. I'm
Mhm.
just thinking of places that we could put stuff.
We could use Leverett Co-op too. There are a bunch of shoot people that go co-op.
And then we have the town announce, did you call it?
Yep, town announce.
And I can put it in the Village Neighbors paper. That gets a few people.
Good, thank you.
So who would like to make a flyer? I'll be the one to ask.
Yeah, and it would be nice to have an illustration on the flyer. So maybe Haley would help with the flyer. So, oh God, what was I thinking? Oh, well, doesn't matter. Oh, I was thinking if we could get in touch, if Martha still has those evaluations,
Mhm.
with positive comments from the evaluations of her previous workshops, that would be useful.
I talk to Martha often, so I can ask if you would like me to. I
Yes,
can ask her about whether she still has that list
yeah,
of the previous participants and also the one we're talking about right now,
yeah.
which is what again? Which was
And the evaluation, positive comments, which I know got.
okay. So the evaluations. Okay. A flyer's pretty easy. I can do it. If you,
Thank you.
because I'm gonna need to put it on other things anyway. But it would be helpful to have exactly what's going on there. Is that in the Gazette?
Yeah,
Everything that's in the-
I can email you the information.
okay.
Her name, what the workshop's about, more coming up,
Okay.
all
right.
and then
Sounds great.
yeah.
All right. Good. Um,
Susan?
So do you think we should hold it in the big room in the basement so that we can have the option to do hybrid? If
I
she,
think we should ask Barbara if she's okay with that.
if she is okay with it, then we could advertise it as hybrid, and we would put in a request really soon for the basement room.
Yeah, I can email her after the meeting and see how she feels about doing a hybrid session.
Yeah, thank you. That's a good idea.
and then Haley is available to show us how to do it after lunch.
Yep.
Next. Okay.
Any unanticipated business?
I cannot think of.
I don't have anything.
All right. Anybody else? Going? Gone. All right. So adjourning the meeting or
Hang
We have
on.
to set the date for the next, what, Susan?
So we don't have any unanticipated business, and Jeanette is rushing to get us all out the door.
No, I'm not actually, Susan. I don't want to have to leave this meeting early because I know that it makes people unhappy, and I actually have to teach tonight. So
Okay.
I could just leave, I
And
suppose.
now that we have a quorum of 4, you can leave without making us unhappy, because we'll be a
Mhm.
quorum.
Great. Terrific. So nice to
What's
see.
our next date? What's our next meeting date?
That is going to be
10.
December 8th. No, 10th.
Okay. So we
Second Wednesday, right?
really can't wait until then to make decisions about the workshop
Second Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
next Wednesday.
Yeah, that's only 2 days before the workshop.
We need to get everything squared away before then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, is everybody okay with you and I doing any final planning for the workshops?
Oh, for the tech one?
Yeah.
The reason I say the two of us is because I think with a quorum of 4, 2 people could, and meeting of 5, yes, meeting, remember, 2 people can meet to do on a work plan without breach of open meeting law.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's technically not even our program.
Right.
Really.
It's
We're just implementing, it's really just a broadband program. We're just doing, I guess, the host, I don't want to say hosting, but I don't know.
when they organize for it, yeah.
So I guess I guess it is kind of ours too.
Better safe than sorry on this.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. What do you think, Mary Jo?
I think it makes sense for the two of you to work out the details. It doesn't seem like something I feel like I would need to sign off on myself. And I trust your judgment and your ability to put something together that's good.
Rich, if you would
I
like,
agree.
I
But
would say, Rich, if you'd like to do it, I'm happy to back out.
I don't know what I'm doing yet,
Okay.
but I'm
I can teach you how to do that. I
You
do it
can.
all the time. Just ask
Do you?
Susan.
Do you? Okay.
I know how to. I don't know what I'm doing. I do it all the time. So what do we actually need? We just need to know the hybrid issue, right?
Yeah, so we can decide the meeting place.
So the meeting place, we already have the date and time. We need the flyers and where to advertise.
Yeah, which we basically.
What else is there?
Let's see. If we wanted to provide people with a little bit of beverage and a snack, we could do that.
That's a good idea. Coffee and some cookies or something.
Yeah, or crackers and cheese. Yeah.
What time is this going to be on the 12th?
12:30 to 2:30.
12:30 to 2:30. Okay.
Are you going?
Oh, sure.
Yay. I might stop in. I'm not gonna go. I'm just gonna go to observe. I don't need to know all that. Well,
I don't have a cell phone, so it wouldn't make any difference. I have a landline. No, I'm only kidding.
You-
I have both. I have both.
bring your landline.
I think I'd like to go to see what she's going to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the one thing, but I need to make sure Jeanette puts on the flyer is to bring your own tablet.
We need to think about numbers. Are we looking for, do we have a limit on numbers? You need to
No.
ask her about that. How big a class is she willing to teach?
Oh, I don't know.
And if we don't do a hybrid, could we still use that monitor that is in that room? Would that be something that you could teach by?
That's a good,
here's your phone, or here's your tablet. This is what you do. This is what you look for. That was just came in my head because I see that every time I go there for lunch. It's there, it's big, and it's
Yeah.
wide open, and
yeah.
you're learning how to use it now.
I mean, it makes sense to me, especially if you were doing something hybrid, whoever the presenter is, if they're going to have anything that is shared that people need to look at,
Mm-hmm.
they would need to know, or at least communicate with whoever's working on
Correct.
that.
Well, this one's just about spams and scams, so it might not be like you actually working on your cell phone or your tablet, more of her speaking about it. You know, when you get in like merging calls and photos, then you would have your cell phone or your tablet out. But with the spams and scams, I think it's more of her explaining what they are, or maybe she has a presentation that we could use the
Right.
TV for.
Yeah. Or we could do it for something in the future that she would do and say, would like to be able to do this. Can you do it like this? It doesn't have to be
Right.
for this one right now. This one here is just to ward off people that want your money.
Right.
Yeah, but she's probably going to want to show people stuff, don't you think?
That's,
I'm sure she probably had something
Or
that
just a
she.
handout or something.
yeah.
That's another thing that you could make available for download, I think.
Yeah. So basically ask her what kind of use she'd like to make of that equipment.
Mary Lou has her hand up.
Um,
Go ahead, Mary Lou.
Hi, so has she come here before to
Yeah.
town to do program? Yeah.
Yes.
And will she be working like individually with us? Because I've been ripped off twice. And I would and the most recent company is still up there selling stuff. So I'm interested. And do you think it's going to be individual or just like a blank, well, not blank, but I mean an overall presentation? I wonder.
It's going to be a presentation on what to look for and how to avoid them.
Okay.
Well, that's a good question that Mary Lou's asking, though, because when she did her workshops before, my sense is that she did a lot of one-on-one.
Depends on how many people too.
Yes. Which again is, do we want to, does she
Right.
set a size?
Right.
If she wants to set a size, we have to ask people to register, yes?
Right.
That's another good point. Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get that many though?
No, but you never know. And if we ask people to register, we would get some sort of sense of how many to expect.
Right. And then if they were pleased or displeased, would figure out if we could do something like this.
Well, we
Continue
can
to
really
do it.
ask people to register even regardless. So we
Right.
know who's coming, you know.
So who's going to manage the registration?
Who's gonna what?
Is there a way to put out the email and then have them respond back? Do you know how some people respond to your community lunch email?
No, we don't get responses from that.
Oh, I thought we did.
No.
Get responses. We can ask people to send to Council on Aging at Shrewsbury.org.
So you want on the flyer, we should say sign up.
Yep.
By email.
Yeah.
And put our email address on it and then we'll.
Yeah.
And they could also call the COA number
Or call. Okay.
if they don't want to use email.
Yeah, we could put it on our webpage too.
Yes. Oh, Mary Jo, there's
Mhm.
something there
What?
to put it on our webpage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, I did something right. Okay. I feel better. But-
So this has been really useful. This organizing talk.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there?
Do we have a coffee pot at the town hall?
There used to be, that's a good question. I'm not sure. We have to check,
All right.
but we
I know
can,
the fire department has one. We might be able to borrow one of those big ones.
Oh, okay.
and we can access hot water because people need a tea option too. And an
Yeah.
herb.
We should put that on our flyer too. Refreshments.
Yeah.
Refreshments available.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. But we don't want people expecting lunch.
No.
No, refreshments are
Light.
more like, yeah, no. Anybody else have anything?
Nope.
All right, I will message her and see if there's a maximum class amount and ask her how she would feel about hybrid meetings
Mhm.
and the use of the big screen.
Mhm. And if she's going to do one-on-one stuff as part of the time, starting in December or later on in January, we should probably put that on the flyer too, so people know what to expect.
And she did one-on-one before?
Yeah.
Okay. How would you word that? One-on-one?
Will it be individual work as well as group? I don't know. I'm not sure what the best way is to say that.
Well, we wouldn't put that on the flyer. We would just ask her,
Yeah.
because if we put it on the flyer, then they're gonna expect, like Mary Lou has been messed up once or twice already,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
So we wouldn't want to put that on the flyer.
I suppose not. I mean, I guess it's a big draw if you feel you're going to get help with your individual problems.
Right, but then that would be, you would need more than just this one lady, because what if you got an onslaught of, this one says, yeah, let's go do it, and then they all come and
Yeah.
there's
And
just
you have
not
some
enough
people
time.
wanting one-on-one time.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. So let's just generalize it for this one and see what happens,
Yeah,
see what the outcome is.
Well, we can also do some, there may be people available at GCC who will come over and do individual stuff. So it'd be something to think about for later.
Right,
Yeah.
something for after let's get the first one under our belt and see how it's well received or not.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
Yeah. Mary Lou's done or comment.
Yeah, what I was thinking is like, if I go to this, which I'm very much interested, is getting advice and for my particular situation, which I'm sure is relevant to a lot of other people, and it has to do with online baiting, actually, getting baited by some really awesome items. It wouldn't, I wouldn't be like expecting an individual case with her, but I certainly would want to know that I can speak of what happened to me. I'm sure there's a lot of it, like a lot of others who get baited that way online. And like I say, it's happened to me twice.
Right.
Once the bank came in and they got the money back for me. But this second time it's still up in the air. Oh, if I were to speak about that, I would hope that wouldn't be an evasion on her workshop. But I guess I'll go and find out. Yeah.
I'm
But
sure
she might have.
she has an agenda
ahead.
probably of what she's going to be speaking on that
Mhm.
Jessica can find out.
I don't think that's an agenda. It's just what I don't know if there's like a syllabus to the class.
Okay.
Does she,
All I know is the topic of the class.
how about, you could ask, does she have time to take questions at the end?
I will ask her that. Did did you go to the other smartphone ones?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I went to one once a Village Neighbors gave in the Leverett Co-op. Yeah. And there's they did have an agenda and they just spoke like blanket, like, you know what I mean? Not
Mhm.
individually. Yeah.
Because this is a very relevant topic. Really. It's terrible.
I know.
Yeah.
To me, it sounds like it's a very interactive class. That's, it's not just her sitting here spewing out stuff. I
Right.
think it's more interactive with people that are in the class, in my mind anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure she's probably gonna maybe have other people that have had, other experiences that they want to share.
Mhm.
Because it is a widespread issue.
Yes, it is.
What? So
Okay, thank you. I need to say good night. Thank you.
You're
bye,
welcome.
Bailey.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
We only have 4 minutes, by the way.
Oh my, it isn't 7 yet.
It's almost 7. I said we have 4 minutes.
Okay.
Do we get automatically kicked off now?
No, I don't.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Before we used to get automatically kicked off.
That's because of
So,
the meeting coming up after us. That was
oh,
because
okay.
the town only had 2 Zoom sites.
Oh, okay.
Now there are a bunch. Well, I'm glad this meeting worked out as well as it did when I was panicking about not being able to start it properly. But that's life with internet.
Yeah, it went well. So,
So I think we've said our say about this, yes?
I think so.
Sounds like a plan.
Are you ready to adjourn the meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
Move to,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Susan.
I did. I moved to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, I second to adjourn the meeting at 6:58 on November 12th.
Okay. Mary Jo,
Johnson, I.
Makepeace, aye.
Millinger, aye.
Strangman eye.
Thank you all.
So let me know, Rich, what you find out about that Excel.
I will, and then we'll figure
Okay.
out about the other stuff.
All right.
We'll be in touch. Your phone number is
right.
just like mine.
I know it is.
That
Our
was
phone
funny.
numbers are 1 digit off from each other.
That was funny.
Funny.
Wow.
Yep. So,
Okay,
all
so
right.
no,
Huh?
pull the plug. But so it may be everybody leave on their own. Let's see.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, night, everyone.
Stay warm.
Yes.
Yeah. And dry.